Now that this has been shown, it is clear that in God there is pure truth, with which no falsity or deception can be mixed. For truth does not sympathize with falsity, just as white does not blacken. But God is not only true, but is truth itself. Therefore there can be no falsity in it. Further, the understanding is not deceived in knowing what is what, just as neither is the sense in its own perceptible. Now all knowledge of the divine intellect is related to the mode of the intellect that knows what something is, as has been shown. It is therefore impossible for there to be error or deception or falsity in divine knowledge. In addition, the understanding does not err in first principles, but sometimes in the conclusions to which it proceeds by reasoning from first principles. But the divine understanding is not rational or discursive, as was shown above. Therefore there can be no falsity or deception in him. Again, the higher a certain cognitive power is, the more universal its proper object is, containing many things under itself. Hence what the sight knows by accident, the common sense or imagination apprehends as contained under its proper object. But the power of the divine intellect is at the end of sublimity in knowing. Therefore, all things knowable are compared to him as knowable properly and by themselves, and not according to accident. In such cases, however, cognitive power does not go astray. Therefore, it is not possible for the divine intellect to err in anything that can be known. Further, intellectual power is a kind of perfection of the intellect in knowing. But according to intellectual virtue, it is not possible to speak a false understanding, but always the truth. For to speak the truth is a good act of the intellect, but it is an act of virtue to render good. But the divine intellect is more perfect by its nature than the human intellect by virtue of virtue, for it is at the end of perfection. It therefore remains that there can be no falsity in the divine understanding. Still, the knowledge of the human intellect is in a certain way caused by things, whence it follows that knowables are the measure of human knowledge. For from this truth is what is judged by the understanding, because things are so, and not the other way around. But the divine understanding by its knowledge is the cause of things. Hence his knowledge must be the measure of things, just as art is the measure of artificers, each of which is perfect insofar as it agrees with the art. Such, then, is the comparison of the divine intellect to things as things are to the human intellect. But the falsity caused by the inequality of the understanding of man and of things is not in things, but in the understanding. If, therefore, there were not an all-round adaptation of the divine intellect to things, there would be falsity in the things, not in the divine intellect. And yet there is no falsity in things, because as much as each thing has of being, it has so much of truth. There is therefore no inequality between the divine intellect and things, nor can there be any falsity in the divine understanding. Again, as truth is the good of the understanding, so is falsity its evil, for we naturally desire to know the truth and shrink from being deceived by falsity. But evil cannot exist in God, as has been proved. Therefore there can be no falsity in it. Hence it is said that Romans 3:4, but God is truthful, and Numbers 23:19. God is not like man that he should lie, and 1 John 1:5, God is light, and there is no darkness in him.